So recently I picked up a boxed copy of Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 64. It was the last Smash game that I needed the box for, and conveniently it was also the hardest one to find. Well, I guess it's not that hard to find, it's actually just the most expensive, which makes sense considering it is cardboard from the 1990s. But with this purchase, I have a complete copy of every single Smash game, so I thought it would be cool to open these up and take a look at what each one came with. So this is not a sealed copy, this is just a protective case because, like I said, it is cardboard from the 1990s, and even though it's not in perfect condition, I would like to keep it in as good condition as it could be. And you'll notice that it's not in perfect condition based on this little fold here, this little crease, which is from people opening it. If this was in better condition, I might not even open it. I would probably be a lot more careful, but this box definitely will do in a pinch. But first, let's take a look at the back. It's got some screenshots here of actually gaming, and it talks about it being a bumpin', bruisin', brawlin' bash. Plunge headlong into battle with your favorite Nintendo characters, Mario, Link, Donkey Kong, Pikachu, Samus, Yoshi, Kirby, and Fox, plus 4 hidden characters. Oh, so they actually just straight up tell you there are hidden characters on the box. So really it's just selling you on the game, which, you know, is the job of the back of the box, but especially for Smash, because, you know, you probably don't really know what this game is if you are buying it for the first time in 1999. It's weird to think about because Smash was just such a big deal, or is a big deal today, but back then it was just a silly little experiment that they took a gamble on and it paid off. But let's bust this bad boy open. So we've got the cartridge, of course, looks exactly like the this little chunk here of the box art. And then, of course, we've got the holy grail of car rides home from the store, the instruction booklet. So this is, of course, what you would bust out as soon as you got in the car. It doesn't even tell you really anything that interesting, but it was just new game information that you were dying to consume. And because you couldn't consume the game itself because, you know, you weren't home yet, you had to just read this. So there's the table of contents with cute little Smash art. And then we've got the N64 controller telling us all about that, showing you how to hold that monstrosity. And then, of course, just a quick breakdown of what's going on in the game, the different modes. Crazy to think there's only one player mode, versus mode, option, data on their main menu. And then it shows you the battle screen, and I think it probably will explain to you. Yeah, so here it explains the higher the percent, the further that you get knocked, which of course is the core tenet of Super Smash Bros., but was super novel at the time. So they really had to explain to you what's going on here. And then versus mode, which is where you'll be spending most of your time. I'm always curious about the screenshots because sometimes they accidentally show things that they're definitely not supposed to, like maybe they revealed the secret characters or whatever. Seems to be like they haven't. And then they show the items here, and then a brief overview of all the characters and stages, just showing their special moves and for the characters, of course. And then did it not show the stages? It literally said the word stages. Oh, the stage gets a little blurb here for each character's home stage underneath that character. Okay, that makes sense. It's always funny looking at what Fox is supposed to be doing versus what he's actually doing in the game. Again, they just totally made that up. So it's really interesting to see like an artist's rendition of his Firefox move. And that is the North American box of Smash 64. I know there was a different European box, which I don't have unfortunately, but I've got the Japanese box here. So let's pop this bad boy open and not be able to read any of it. So first, I've always preferred the Japanese box art to the North American. I know it's the same art style, but the whole comic book aesthetic here really just looks so much cooler than whatever is going on this one. And then on the back, they've got this unique art, which I don't know that we really got to see in the North American version. It might have been on some like guidebooks or maybe even in the instruction manual and I just forgot. But there's just something about this style of art that I've always really liked. But now let's open this sucker up and slide it open. Because this is Japanese, I don't think I've even taken a look too deep at it. The game is actually still in plastic because I've got the North American version. I don't need to play it, but that's what the actual box art or the art on the cartridge looks like, which is pretty cool. And then, of course, we've got the cartridge tray, which I will just kind of put over there. And then we've got two different things. The first is the control schematic. For some reason, they've put it on its own little card, showing, again, this same art of the controller and how to hold that thing. And then on the back, sure says some stuff, huh? This side here seems to be explaining that the higher your percent, the further you'll go. This, of course, is showing the different moves that you can use. So that's your A moves. This is your special moves. You can pick up items, it looks like. And I don't know what this one does. Oh, I guess double jump. It explains that you can use a double jump. So very quick breakdown of all of the tenets of Smash, which is pretty neat. And then, of course, the instruction manual with the exact same art as the box art. I'm not going to be able to explain any of this outside of what I can gather from the pictures. I'm a picture book reader, but it seems to be a bit more in-depth than the other one as far as like explaining how things work. Let's see if we get to the characters and it shows what each character does. Oh, I have it looks, I don't even know what this is supposed to be. It clearly has up special, down up B, down B, I'm not sure. And then some warnings and stuff. Maybe like a little insurance card. I don't know. But those were still in there, which tells me that this copy is in pretty decent condition, which is not uncommon for Japanese games. They keep their stuff very nice, even in the used market, which is very, very desirable. Okay, so again, it's really only showing the same amount of information as far as the characters and stages go, although you do get a little picture of each stage, each character's home stage, which is pretty cool. But about the same amount, just done stylistically, it's done differently. So I do kind of prefer this, but I don't know if it's just recency bias because I'm looking at it right now. The other one I didn't really have any problems with either. But yeah, that is the Smash 64 Japanese manual. So next we have Super Smash Bros. Melee, which is a bestseller from the minute that they printed this cover art. This is not my childhood copy, unfortunately. My childhood copy was stolen. And this is not even the replacement for the childhood copy because that was a greatest hits version. And of course, I had to replace that the minute I learned that I hated that. So this is a more recent purchase. It is the black label, of course, and it is just a fantastic game, of course. So on the back here, we of course have some screenshots showing off some gameplay. It talks about the brand new adventure mode, over 20 stages, tons of custom options this time around. Coin battle, lots of Pokemon and an event mode, and then of course the all-new trophies with over 300 of them. Ooh, 300. All right, so let's crack this bad boy open and let's take a look. So of course first we have the disc, which unfortunately looking at it, mine seems to have some crackling going on the art, which I didn't notice until just now this second, so that kind of sucks. But then we have the instruction booklet. But we also have the opportunity to subscribe to Nintendo Power, get the guidebook, and register this game on My Nintendo. Go ahead and have that code, I guess, because My Nintendo is long since defunct. I don't know how this was supposed to go. I'm going to assume like that. And then health and safety, because you might hurt yourself playing video games. So we're all here for the instruction booklet, of course, and I'm not expecting any different than the previous ones. This one first explains the very, very, very basics of Smash. Higher percentage, further you go. You have a double jump. You also have a recovery move. Here's a GameCube controller, and it just kind of tells you what you can do with it. Special moves and all that. Moving the character, you have your standard attacks. There's actually a lot more in-depth than I would have expected from an instruction book. Like, of course it's an instruction booklet, but like, they're telling you everything. I guess this is still in the era where people don't really know how Smash functions as far as like what you're supposed to do. I mean, I guess we're still kind of in that era. The number of people who don't know how to like pick up an item, for example. Oh wow, this even breaks down like what the versus mode looks like mid-match with your time, your stocks, your damage. That's really interesting. But then it shows you classic mode, adventure mode, Stage Clear, and then Event Match. It's calling Game 2 for some reason. Game 3 is the Stadium mode, which has Target Test, the all-new Home Run Contest, and Multi-Man Melee. Then the Training mode, and then Versus mode with all the options that come from this, or come with this, rather. Custom rules, name entry. This must just be the way they're stylizing it. I was wondering why they were calling it Game 1, 2, 3, but I guess that's just like, this is a new category that we're discussing now. And then the characters, of course, there are the ones that returned from Smash 64, but then Bowser, Peach, Ice Climbers. I wonder if it mentions... Oh yeah, it does. There they are. Secret characters. Although this time it doesn't actually mention the number of characters. And actually, it doesn't even show you what this character is. Like, I would guess this is maybe like, I don't know, Young Link or Falco, but like they just went ahead and smudged the entire thing. So you can't even know, you can't even get a hint from the instruction booklet, man. And then it talks about items and, like I said, the trophies. Got to know about the options in the data. And that is pretty much it. That is Super Smash Bros. Melee. In North America, because we have the Japanese copy here as well. I don't know if the European copy was actually much different in the way that Smash 64's was, but Melee had a very different box for Japan, or rather, it's Super Smash Bros. Deluxe, because just all of the GameCube games had different art and just were made differently. I mean, these are just two completely different beasts. But on the back is a very brief blurb. It shows you all of the starting roster, I assume, and then just 2 screenshots. They're really going to trust that you are going to like this game. And then this is just a cardboard sleeve, so we slide that off, and we've got a small plastic case here. I kind of like these. I like that they're a little more compact, and I like the cardboard sleeve a little bit. But man, there's just something about the GameCube cases from North America that they just hit so different. I like it way better. We did get this, if I remember right, the Game Boy Player came in a sleeve like this. I see these all the time. The cases anyway, not the Game Boy Player disc. That is crazy expensive. But I see the cases all the time because they're just a convenient way to carry games, especially for like the Melee tournament scene, because you can just stick the disc and your memory card right there, and you are good to go. It's a much more compact option than this. At least it used to be before the days of just running it off a hard drive. There you can see the GameCube disc for the Japanese version, and then we've got the instruction manual, which has very cool art. They kind of went for the same vibe with it on the sides here. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if this was the exact same art. It doesn't seem to be, actually, never mind. And there's going to be a bunch of words in here that I can't read again. I guess the only downside to how compact these are is this is a tiny, tiny instruction booklet by comparison. Like, that is just minuscule. But they got all the information in there, it looks like. It does look like they're using quite similar screenshots. This is the exact same screenshot that the North American copy had, showing the time, the stocks, the damage. So it really seems to be, again, the same information, just completely designed differently. Even so far as calling each little category Game 1, Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, and then of course where it applies using the Japanese text, the Japanese version of the game for screenshots when they have to. Or rather, I guess, the English version used the English version of the game when they needed to, and the rest were Japanese screenshots provided by Nintendo. And again, we have all of the characters here, each of their special moves condensed into a teeny tiny little chart. Man, I miss instruction booklets. I wish we still had them. I know it's like useless, and like I'm literally explaining how you wouldn't use this once you got home and you like understood the game, so it did feel a little bit like a waste of paper. But I still miss them. There's just something about looking at an instruction booklet that just, I don't know. Maybe it's, call it nostalgia. I don't know. It's just very cool. And they are taunting us here with these component cables. These like $500 component cables that only the richest people on the planet can afford. Next up, we have Super Smash Bros. Brawl. This is my childhood copy, and I hope that it's never stolen from me. On the back here, they really crammed in a bunch of information. Nintendo Worlds Collide, showing off Groudon, Nintendogs, a couple new items, the all-new Final Smashes, and then of course, one of the biggest selling points of Brawl, well, not really selling points, but one of the notable things about Brawl is Snake and Sonic. The first third-party characters to ever join Super Smash Bros. Are right there on the box. You will never forget it, because for some reason you are committed to memorizing the back of your Brawl case. And so of course they talk about the adventure mode and Brawl Online, the all-new online functionality that came with the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection. So we can pop this guy open again and take a look at that one's definitely used, because I remember I was addicted to logging my Nintendo points, so don't worry about getting that logged. And then they advertised Galaxy, Mario Strikers Charged, and Phantom Hourglass, which was pretty neat. It's interesting that really all this boils down to is this one paragraph for this whole thing, because they show a couple screenshots, but then it's just 3 translations of that same thing on each one. But pretty cool. They don't do this anymore, I guess, because waste the paper once again. And then, of course, the instruction booklet. So first, this one is thicker than all the other ones, and I don't really know why, so let's see. First, of course, they're explaining Smash again, although they do show you all of the different control schemes that you can use to play this game. And then, I guess by default, they want you to play with the Wii remote, which I don't know why you would. That's a horrible idea. But they do have the other control schemes all laid out here. Oh, this is with the nunchuck. My hand was blocking it, I think. Oh, wow, they're really holding your hand through this. They are walking you through each and every step to booting this game up. Power on your Wii, step 1. Man, they did not have faith that you would be able to play this game without an instruction manual. And then it's really just holding your hand into even beginning a versus mode. I mean, they must have thought that you were a stupid baby if you were playing Smash for the Wii. That's crazy. The stage builder. Select stage builder from the vault menu, then choose new to begin building a stage from scratch. Step 2, Project M loads. And then they show all the default fighters, which of course they do. It's interesting because often I forget who was just a base roster character because, you know, I just got so used to what the final roster looks like. I wonder how they explain the different characters. There are even more fighters. Besides the characters listed here, more are waiting. So wait, they don't even talk about how Snake and Sonic are fighters, even though they're advertised right on the box. They don't show their moves or their final smash or anything. They just say, you can unlock them, smile, enjoy. But like, they're on the box. Why wouldn't you just show them? Like, yeah, you can tease that they're unlockable, but also show what their moves do. And then they've got a tip section here, and then a bunch of security information, and then this is in Spanish. So I guess that explains why this is so much thicker than any of the other ones. It's because they put it in a totally different language as well. But there is Brawl. Head to the dojo. Oh, it actually advertises the Brawl dojo, which is pretty cool. So I don't have any international copies of Brawl, but the Wii was really where the game cases became a lot more uniform. I know that the Japanese version, for example, is slightly different art. Like the characters might be rearranged and the lighting's a little different. But that isn't as drastic a difference as like the GameCube and 64 differences were between regions. So I didn't feel a need to get them. Someday I might, but for now, I'm just good with the version that I had as a kid that will not be getting stolen. Super Smash Bros. For 3DS. I don't even know if the game is in there. It is not. That's okay, we're not really that worried about the game. So on the back, they had a lot less space to work with, especially when half is dedicated to warnings and copyrights and ratings. They managed to fit a decent amount here. Fight Anywhere shows all of the different characters that you can play as. Guest Fighters, which is cool, shows Mega Man, Pac-Man, and Sonic the Hedgehog. All new Smash Run mode, which was like one of the big selling points of Smash for 3DS, besides having a portable Smash Bros. And then Custom Fighters, and the fact that at some point there will be connectivity between the 3DS and Wii U versions. What that connectivity will be, we sure didn't know at the time of this game's release. So for the instruction manual, this is a lot smaller, but also somehow bigger than the other ones. That's because this was a gigantic fold-out, which I completely forgot about until just now. So up here in the corner, they've got the basic controls for you, and they are really trusting that you know how to play video games this time, whereas on the Wii, they needed to instruct you on how to press the power button. But yeah, for every character, it shows all of their special moves and then their final smash, but it doesn't show for all the characters. For example, I don't see Ganondorf on this list. It even flips over onto the back, and there is a section with a few more characters, and Ganondorf's not there, for example. Kind of feels weird when it shows only the base roster, but then, you know, your unlockable characters, you're just shooting into the wind. You don't know what's going to happen. Definitely an interesting idea for this kind of instruction manual, though. We're definitely at the point where a lot of people know how to play Smash, so they were more concerned with, just giving you some supplemental information about the fighters. Also, they didn't have a ton of room, again, inside the case, so it couldn't be super, super thick. So I think this is a really cool compromise and just something unique that you don't see all the time. And now we've got Smash for Wii U, the version that made everyone forget that Smash for 3DS existed. Let's jump on the back, and again, they did a lot with a little. It follows the exact same structure as the 3DS version, where it's got all of the fighters along here. It shows some interesting screenshots, talks about the guest stars and the Smash Tour mode rather than Smash Run, and then it also advertises 8-player Smash, which was brand new to the series in this game. So we've got custom characters linking to the 3DS version, which we finally found out what that meant, which was transferring custom characters over to the Wii U, and then also using your 3DS as a controller for the Wii U version, and then Amiibo. Oh, this game isn't in there either. I guess it's in my Wii U because that's really all I use my Wii U for right now is a Smash for Wii U footage machine. But here's the instruction booklet, and let's dive in. Again, they're going to show all the different control schemes, although this time it's including the Pro Controller and the Gamepad. But then, of course, you can use the GameCube controller, the sideways Wii Remote plus Nunchuck, and your Nintendo 3DS. It's crazy how many control schemes this game actually supported. And then we have the exact same thing as the 3DS version, just now in a little list here, rather than being a big fold-out. Everything, this is exactly the same. I don't even think it's a different design. I think it is quite literally the exact same thing, just slightly bigger. And then they talk about Amiibo. It's crazy to think about how this was a brand new thing, because Amiibo have just been around for so long in the current year. And that's actually it. Yeah, they translated it into 3 different languages this time. So all of this is only a third of the size, actually, because that's it. So wow, really, it is quite literally just like the 3DS one. They just had a little bit more room, so they made all of this bigger. And then, of course, there's a bunch of different controllers you can use, and that's it. And lastly, we have Smash Ultimate, which I think has nothing in it, just the cartridge. I wouldn't know because this is a sealed copy. And I don't know that I want to open it. I think it's kind of funny that I have a sealed copy. I bought the physical version because I like to buy physical games, but because I wanted to play the game at midnight, I bought it digitally on my Switch, and so this arrived and I never ended up opening it. So I don't think I want to open it, although it's a Switch game, it probably doesn't have anything in it. But we can look at the back, where it shows that everyone is here. Every Smash Bros. Fighter returns, joined by all new challengers. 70 plus fighters, 100 plus stages, new game modes, and more, and an all-new adventure mode. They really know how to maximize space here. Every single little teeny tiny little character select picture, and then some screenshots. But yeah, that is the Smash Ultimate Switch box. The only other thing I have is the Steelbook. I think this is the only Steelbook that Smash has ever had. If not, then I'm going to be sad because it means I have to buy another one. But this is just a very basic Steelbook for the collector's edition. It came with a controller, if I remember right, and then the Steelbook. It's just the Smash Bros. Logo in flames, like the reveal for Smash Ultimate. And then on the inside, it's just a screenshot of Battlefield. It's actually kind of a lame Steelbook. The game's not even in this one either, but that one's, I know where that is. That's in my Switch. But yeah, kind of a lame steelbook. It doesn't even have an instruction manual, like I said, because it's a Switch game, but it has space for an instruction manual. In fact, all Switch cases have space for an instruction manual, and I don't know why, because it's never utilized. But yeah, overall, kind of lame, nothing on the back. Cool to have, not cool to look at, if that makes any sense. And those are all the Smash games I own. If there's a version that I've missed, like a PAL version that has cool art or something, please let me know, because I would definitely be interested in buying it. And yeah, I like Smash.